Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of Paul Ponders.
Welcome to Paul Ponders. My name is Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com. Thank you for joining me for my foray into podcasting. It is great to be collaborating with my friend and associate Chalonzo Amos of PodPro Entertainment to bring you some fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. For many years, I've been referred to as the Connector, or in Greater Boston circles as the Connector. With psandallmarketinggroup.com, I've created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please sit back and relax and listen to today's podcast. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery and just listening, then please just listen and stay focused on your task at hand. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy my ponderings. Let #PaulPonders begin.
Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Well, welcome back to a #Paul Ponders episode. I just want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that is project142.org. Scott Albertson, Scott with one T, Albertson, SON. If you have a chance, check out project142.org. Scott does a wonderful job marketing, and you really should check out his dedication around the nation. Does a really great job and all. So this episode is going to sort of like be an extension of a past episode, going back to episode number 5, which was entitled From Malden to Staten Island about Gotham Whale, gothamwhale.org. And with us tonight is the executive director, and he's the first 3-time guest that we've had. You may have heard him on episode 8 with Untold Patriot Stories. You may have heard him on episode 23 with Untold and Unlimited LLC. But I want to welcome back Mr. Bob Hyldburg from gothamwhale.org, the executive director. Bob, welcome.
Yay, welcome back. Yeah, right.
Welcome back.
This is quite a thrill. Nice to see you, Paul, and great to talk to you again, and great to share some real passion and wisdom that we work together with you being on the board of directors and the team that we have at Gotham Whale and gothamwhale.com. Gothamwhale.org, actually, yeah.
Absolutely. It really is a great organization. And if you just want to let our listeners know what Gotham Whale is all about, you could take it away from here and we'll just chat.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I think it was at the Pearl Street restaurants, and PJ, his son, and Paul Sr. Were talking about this Gotham Whale. And I was like, what's this Gotham Whale? And I didn't really pay too much attention. They were wearing hats and shirts. And it was really about Paul Sr. and his quest to really educate and provide research for people that the whales were coming into New York Harbor. And certainly being from Boston, it was like, okay, what's the big deal about that? But it was a big deal. When they cleaned Boston Harbor, that was a big deal. And when they cleaned New York Harbor, the whales started coming. And, this Artie Raslich took a picture of a whale breaching in New York Harbor with the background of the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building, and off to the side, you can see the Statue of Liberty. And that's the logo that we use for gothamwhale.org. And I get involved because, when you're over 50, you maybe you're looking for something, looking for a purpose. So, Paul Sr. I worked at the New England Aquarium for many years, and then went down to New Jersey and worked at the Jenkinson Aquarium. And he just loved animals and the ocean and seals. And then when he discovered whales coming into the harbor, that opened up a whole new world for him. So I was encouraged to have someone over 50, in fact, he was over 70 at the time, inspiring to do something different with his life and to really create a legacy. And he connected with so many people from the research departments of Columbia and Rutgers and Stony Brook and all these college and universities. He talked to some of the best scientists and biologists, and just his network of people that he connected with to really bring the awareness that whales are a magnificent creature. They're worth a lot of money and value to our economy. The nitrogen that they expunge, when they come back up to the surface, it adds to our environment and, in the air. So it really does a lot with the climate and the fishing industry and just so many things that a value of a whale has. And he discovered it in New York City. And then as the whales get closer to the harbor, they were getting hit by ships and hit by boats. And as we've seen recently, a lot of the fishermen are in their kitchen and whales are coming up and eating their food and then knocking people out of their boats and breaching and just having fun, but we're in the way. So one of the things we did is really to take that experience of what it's like to see a whale, what's it like to be in their kitchen, but also elevate what he did as someone over 70 to really create this goodwill over 15 years. So I come in a little bit as a strategic consulting in the beginning, and now we're taking all this talent that we have on our volunteer team, and we're looking for more volunteers. If you love helping people and being part of the ground floor of an innovative and creative and advocacy for the whales, for the oceans, we'd love to have you on our team, GothamWhale.org. So if you want to write, you want to create, you want to help us with social media, you want to help us fundraise, we need all that talent, never mind what the experience is of anticipating going out in the ocean and then maybe seeing a dolphin or two and then seeing a whale wink at you or say hi to you. That's something that we want to really bring to the people and say, life in your little office is, there's more to life than that. Experience nature and experience the value of some of the oldest animals in the world being 20 feet from you or 100 feet from you and from a safe distance. These are some of the things that I'm trying to bring, and the stories and the emotion and the feelings that you get.
That's awesome. Well, without a doubt, and thank you for that wonderful summation and that introduction. Just to refresh the minds of our listeners out there, I really do encourage you to either listen or re-listen to episode number 5 from Malden to Staten Island. And it really tells a great story about Paul Sieswerda Sr. and also Paul Sieswerda Jr., as Bob referred to as PJ, on what a dream and ambition that he had. And it became his sole purpose, if you will, to make this happen, to really build an organization. And really, it's not about Gotham City. It's not about one sole area. It's really about the ocean and beyond. And I know what you're looking to do under your executive director vision is, in fact, to work hand in hand with those volunteers, work with the board of advisors, and just really take that mission, the dream that Paul Sieswerda Sr. had, and make that dream even more of a reality, and just build the organization and reach out to so many various constituencies, if you will. And I believe that the basis of what Gotham Whale was built on was, in fact, about education and the citizen science. So if you want to let our listeners know what citizen science is and where it has evolved to.
Yeah, so citizen science, we need people to really help us create the information that we collect. So if you're out in a boat or you're out in a whale watch or you're just out experiencing something on the beach and you see a whale, we have a catalog that we've developed over 15, 16 years. We're right at the cusp of 400 whales. So our research is really finding out where they are, identifying them, and then seeing how they travel up and down the East Coast, primarily is where we are. So that citizen science is, see a whale, report it to us. We have a research department that collects that information, and then we put that into the database, and then we use that database to find out where they've traveled. We have Jerry the whale, we haven't seen for a couple of years, so we've got an all points bulletin to see if we can find Jerry the whale, who was in our logo. But I was talking to our research department the other day, and Danielle says the fourth whale that we cataloged back in 2011 is back. So 20 years later, these naturalists that are on the boat that tell you the stories and identify the whales pretty quickly. We want to really see what's happening with these whales, and to have something come back into the harbor on the East Coast or wherever it is. We can go all the way up to Maine. We want to take that experience and say, we're tracking them and we want to protect them. We want to protect their environment from marine debris and plastics and ships. But we also really want to value their beauty and their magnificence of being one of the oldest animals in the world, and to be able to catalog that and then bring that to the schools and universities of some of the most magnificent and beautiful creatures in the world are within just a couple hours of your office or your school. If you have a dream, like Paul probably had a dream when he was a kid of getting out in the ocean and doing that kind of stuff, we want to elevate your dream of whatever it might be. It might be a creative writer. Maybe it's a photographer. Maybe it's creating a YouTube channel. We're going to be doing some documentaries and even podcasts like this, telling stories of what it's like to have a dream and then have your dream come true and then have your family and your community elevate that legacy to last a lifetime. Those are things that inspired me to get involved.
That's super. Now, when we think about what Paul Sr. did, he authored 2 books. The first book, children's book, I believe, if I recall, Big Whale, Big City. Yeah. And then right before his passing in December of 2023, he published the book Strandings. Those are available on for sale in the merch store of gothamwhale.org, I believe, along with lots of apparel and other merchandise. Is that correct?
It is. And you can buy the books on Amazon too. We're going to be doing more and more outreaches and more fundraisers over the next many years, actually. So look for us on social media with Facebook group Gotham Whale, on Instagram, LinkedIn. So there's all different ways of we're reaching out, speaking at the different universities and colleges and festivals and different events like that, cleaning the beaches and that type of thing. We'll be down in the aquariums over the period of time, participating in other events as well. And so, if as we develop our team, join in with some of our Zoom meetings and reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram to just become a member and get our newsletter and find out what's going on. But we'd love to have you at least check us out and send us an email to info@gothamwhale.org just to find out how you can help us.
Now, Bob, I don't know, in full disclosure to our listeners, I am a proud board member of Gotham Whale, but also a member, and it's really great to be involved with this organization. But are you at liberty to maybe share the exciting news about the fundraiser coming up with the group out of New York and New Jersey? Are you at liberty to announce that's what's happening in September?
We haven't had an official date yet. We thought it was at the end of September. We're still working out the details. It looks to be somewhere in the first week of October. So we'll get more information on that. But Yes, we're going to be working with different companies to help promote us, and there's a jewelry company that's creating jewelry exclusively for Gotham Whale. So stay tuned for that. Look for that on certainly our LinkedIn and social media, Gotham Whale. But we don't have all the details yet, although it's going to be very exciting. We're going to have a huge grand opening party, and stay tuned for other events that we're doing, not only in Staten Island, Brooklyn, Manhattan, but also up here. We're taking Gotham to be worldwide. Gotham is huge, so even though Gotham City is, the Batman in New York, we want to elevate all the goodwill that we've developed with all the universities and schools in that area. But this is a big deal for us throughout the East Coast, really. And then as we develop and really strengthen our team, we're going to take this even to another level, especially with the documentaries that we're looking to produce over the next year or two.
That's fabulous. Now, also, it's a board discussion issue for our meeting coming up in a couple of weeks, but there's an issue of petition out there regarding personhood for the whale. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, the idea of you can't really tag a whale like you can a shark and put like a GPS on it, but we do have over just about 400 whales so we're looking to develop that and to get some personal attention to each one of those whales and develop that list even more. So some of the whales have names and some of them have numbers. And as we develop this, we'd love to have a contest to not only identify the whale, but find a whale, but track a whale and give it some identity and, that personhood or that having this whale of an idea is something that's in the works. But that's something, there are people that have adopted whales in the past, and I've talked to some of them. And we're looking to bring that up so that you really have a connection with some of the whales, especially if they are in the area and they live for a fairly long time and then they have a family. You can track their ancestry and the genealogy and all that kind of stuff, which is exciting for people.
Without a doubt. Now, you mentioned ship strikes earlier. Is that a very prevalent type of cause of whales beaching?
It's kind of sad, but the idea is the whales are underneath the surface. So when they hear noises, they come up to identify what the noises are. But as the ship comes up, the noise is in the back of the ship, and that's where the propeller is. So they start coming up, and as they come up, they get to the surface probably just as quick as the front of the boat. So they're getting hit by the front of the boat, and then as the boat moves along, then they get damaged by the propeller. So as the menhaden and the food that they eat is closer to shore and in the lanes of the ships, that's we want to identify and kind of communicate with the ships and the boats and that type of thing that they're in the area. And we saw this whale that was in Portsmouth that was just coming up, and they're coming up from way down deep and then coming up and just going right to the surface and getting most of the food. They corral it and then get to the surface. And their eyes are on the side of their head. They really can't see. They really just go by where they feel where the food is. And if you're in that area, that boat was tipped over and the two guys had to jump off, So we're in their kitchen. So that's part of what we want to do is to let people know if you see bubbles, that means a whale's coming in about 5 seconds. You better get out of there. So there's different ways of communicating that. The other thing that we're trying to do is to remove some of the netting and we've got some ropeless lobster traps that are further out. And the turtles, we just had a turtle in Boston Harbor that was saved by the New England Aquarium, and some divers went out there and cut the rope away from this big sea turtle. So ropeless lobster traps are a big thing nowadays, where you just put them down there, and then as you get close, you inflate it, and it comes to the surface, and there's no ropes to get tangled with some of these animals. So, yeah, they're having trouble avoiding some things out there that they really can't see that well, and they're in their zone, they're in their kitchen.
Interesting, very interesting. Also, just thinking aloud as in a hashtag Paul Ponders moment, I think back to discussion about wind farms and all. What is Gotham Whale's view on wind farms in New York, in Boston, Nantucket, wherever?
Yeah, we don't think that's a big deal for the whales. The problem with the wind farms is when the blades fall off, like just happened in Nantucket, and the blades are all fiberglass and they break into all these pieces. Now you've got all this plastic and debris in the ocean, and the mammals and the whales are eating that plastic, and it's getting into the digestive system. So it's not so much that they're communicating and they're running into the sound, where we have a guy that's going to be doing some more research on the sounds that they make and how whales communicate. And they think there's some kind of alphabet or some kind of language that they can communicate with, but they can talk from 2 or 3, 4, 5 miles away to each other. But we don't think the windmills are so much a danger to the whales getting hit. It's just the debris and getting out there and fixing the windmills. So some windmills they put out there for 4 or 5 years and they break down and they just leave them there. And then they deteriorate and then they fall in the ocean. And that's a problem.
Wow. So if we see someone like Don Quixote out there swimming and fighting the windmills, we'll know something's up, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, Bob, how could our listeners really get involved with Gotham Whale in some capacity of time, talent, treasure, wealth, wisdom, wherewithal, whatever?
Yeah, we're really looking for people to tell the stories. There are so many stories of just being on a team that's elevating and starting from a ground floor, elevating, a guy's legacy that he developed over 15 years, coming up with different stories that relate to the experience that you have, getting out in the ocean and being with people and just seeing, I have a sports background, and it's like you remember the first game you went to where someone hit a home run or you came close to getting a foul ball, or you saw an exciting play. Getting out in the ocean is cool enough, but never mind seeing, some of the magnificent mammals and animals out there, dolphins and whales. That's an experience you never forget. So we want people to share those kind of stories, share those kind of pictures, just be part of our team. So we certainly need people that can help us with data management, people with research, people that want to write about it, people that want to help us volunteer and fundraise, help us clean the ocean, deal with climate change. We got a whole bunch of different jobs. And even if you give us 2 hours a week or 2 hours a month, you're part of a team that is really passionate about making this world a better place. And I want to elevate whatever skills you want to bring, put you in position to succeed and really give back to the world.
Thank you for that, Bob. And I just want to, just a quick aside, one of the things that I sort of encounter when I tell people about Gotham Whale, what it's about, people sometimes think that, I book a whale watch through Gotham Whale and I go out on a boat and I hang out with people. But I believe that Gotham Whale has partners up and down the coast, or at least in New York, New Jersey. So if you want to maybe shed some light on some of the boats we partner with.
Absolutely. I mean, the idea is that just to get out there. So American Princess and Jersey Girl out in Belmar in New Jersey, Bill McKim and Frank and Tom are two of the people down there. We got 3 boats in C Street and Staten Island, and we're looking to develop even more relationships with other boats. Certainly, if you run a sailboat, I mean, just let us know where you are. And, if you see a whale, get a hold of us. Send it to research@gothamwhale.org, and we'll see if we can identify and certainly put you in the newsletter and other things that we do to help us part of that citizen science. And if you see any marine debris and that type of thing, pollution, let us know about that too, because we want to have a team working on that. So we're all about education and research and advocacy for the environment, for the whales, for the ocean, and then work together as a team. So you want to be on a winning team and a successful team and a fun team to hang out with. We're going to be doing some events, certainly in Staten Island, Brooklyn, and Manhattan, but also up here in Boston and other areas too. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can help us.
That's great. And to just let our listeners know one more time to sign up as a member, where do they go?
So gothamwhale.org. We're a nonprofit 501c3, gothamwhale.org, and just go to Facebook and reach out on Facebook group or Instagram, just Gotham Whale, 2 words, LinkedIn, or send an email to us at info@gothamwhale.org.
That's fabulous. And any specific email address if people wanted to maybe donate some money, be part of the Paul Sieswerda Senior Giving Society?
Absolutely. You can do that on our website, gothamwhale.org. Or if you want to send something directly to me, just Bob_HYLDBURG @gothamwhale.org, or just info@gothamwhale.org, and I'll get that, and we'll be able to figure out how you can help us sponsor some of the things that we're doing, some of the conferences that we're promoting, some of the events that we're going to in Providence and New York, and we just did one at Boston University. So we'll be doing more and more and more. This is a huge opportunity to get out on the ground floor and elevate a legacy of a man that really has changed the world. People know Gotham Whale all over the world.
Wow. Well, Bob Hyldburg, I want to thank you for being on a Paul Ponders podcast, a 3-timer. And I want to say one thing. I've had a whale of a time.
So be our partnership, be our fellowship, be our citizenship. Just as PJ says, we're on a ship that doesn't sink. So add to another ship and join our companionship of gothamwhale.org. Thanks very much, Paul. It's a great night.
#indeed, Bob.
Indeed.
I trust that you have enjoyed Paul Ponders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Alonso Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Alonso. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Paul Ponders. Follow us on Twitter at Paul Ponders Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Paul Ponders Podcast. Thank you again for listening to Paul Ponders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment, Paul Ponders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. The new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. Indeed.